Hello, hi, and namaste. Let us start today's discussion with the rice wheat cropping system. As we know, this is a most important double cropping system of the Indo-Gangetic Plain, particularly in the Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, Haryana, Bihar, in those states. This cropping system, uh, why this is important and why question have been asked on this rice wheat cropping system. Let us first discuss the question what has been asked in CSC 2014, 2020 and Indian Forestry Service exam also. So management of paddy wheat cropping system having forecast of poor rain. Okay, so this is a contingent type crop planning. This year also El Nino is expected. So the poor rain forecast is also there. Then rice wheat crop rotation is very common in North Indian agriculture. Discuss and describe the advantage and disadvantage of this crop rotation according to the principle of crop rotation. Uh, as we can see, the same question was asked in Indian Forestry Service exam 2014 and the same question was repeated in CSC 2020. And in 2015, one question came describe rice wheat cropping system, depletion of nutrient and soil health. So we'll discuss this question in a holistic manner. So why question has been asked on rice wheat cropping system? As we know, rice wheat are the major cereals growing in our country, and around this particular cropping system covers around 10.5 to 11 million hectare area, and it contributes around 40% of the 40% of contributes around 40% of nation's food grain production. So you can see the importance of this cropping system. And there is high cropping intensity, as we know, rice followed by wheat, so the cropping intensity is nearly 200%. And the land use is efficient. How the land use is efficient? Because the irrigation infrastructure is well developed here. So irrigation by terms of canal, in terms of groundwater, that is tube well or borewell. So this irrigation ensures stable production. So high food grain production, how it is actually achieved? In by doing this double cropping, rice followed by wheat. So this also higher food grain production. Then irrigation also, this also lead to high food grain production. Then mechanization is mainly followed here, because after rice we are taking wheat. In this time period after rice, actually there is very narrow gap or narrow sowing window for wheat. And as we know, when we delay the sowing of wheat, the yield of wheat can be significantly reduced. So we are not compromising on the sowing date of wheat. So what we are doing? We are doing either we are burning the stubble, or we are using some some machineries like happy seeder, one famous machine we have come across, and ledger, land leveler. So these are some modern instrument. Then combined harvester. So by these machine actually used very much in this rice wheat cropping system. We will deal with this happy seeder again when we will discuss stubble burning in detail. And another thing is, there is also labor shortage when rice is harvested. Actually there is labor shortage, and the crop residue are very voluminous, because there is high, we can see it is cropped around, the area is around 11 million hectare. So we can see the area whole of the most of the Indo-Gangetic plain, Indo-Gangetic plain, starting from say parts of Rajasthan to Punjab, UP, Haryana. So most of the Indo-Gangetic plain, this system is famous, and machineries are being used for this purpose. And another reason advantage of this rice wheat cropping system is that assured MSP is there, market has well developed, and procurement is also there, government procurement for both rice and wheat. So it provides assured income, and um, market as marketing channel is well developed, so marketing risk also is low. Then employment generation is also high. Employment generation in cultivation, harvesting. As we know, most of the laborers from Bihar, Jharkhand, actually West Bengal, they also travel to um, UP, Bihar, UP, Punjab for this labor purpose. So employment generation is more. Then as food grain production is high, so this is a cornerstone of food security in India. And as we have already seen, around 40% of the total food grain production of the country is attributed to this particular cropping system. Then uses residual moisture for wheat. As we know, after rice, there will be, after rice means, suppose rice is harvested around October and November, so there will be very less rainfall at that time, and some though some western disturbances also occur in the wheat starting season, but mainly the wheat uses the residual soil moisture. Okay, so we have seen the advantages. We will see some disadvantages. As we know, groundwater depletion, because rice is a water intensive crop. We have seen that 1 kg rice is taking around 3000 liter, 4000 liter to some 5000 liter water also. So as rice is a water intensive crop, and excessive use of tube well, as we have seen in the irrigation point, tube well or bore well is also very much very widely used in Punjab. So groundwater decline in Punjab and Haryana also. And soil nutrient imbalance, as continuous cultivation is going on there, so it actually removes large amount of nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and micronutrient also, zinc, okay, and one secondary nutrient, that is sulfur. These nutrients are also applied more, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, but as there is very less importance on the application of micronutrient, so we can see very widespread deficiency of zinc and sulfur on those soil. And another thing is decline in soil organic carbon or soil organic matter. And residue burning is a major problem, and question has been asked how we will manage the residue parali management. I think it has been asked twice. We will this in another video to uh, why we are actually burning the residue, because we are taking rice, then wheat. Actually, as we have already discussed, the sowing window for wheat is very low, very less time period. So what we are doing, actually we are burning the stubble to clear the stubble, and the so the land will be better, or the it will be easier to sow wheat. And what actually is the problems associated with residue burning? As we know, many of the greenhouses gases it is emitted, so air pollution. And another is nutrient loss. How nutrient loss occurs? One thing is that the residue which would have added carbon to the soil, organic matter to the soil, that actually is lost. So nutrient is also lost. Then declining factor productivity. As we know, fertilizer and water use is required for this, and to maintain the same yield we have to increase the fertilizer and water use also. So factor productivity is actually declining. That means if we are not using these, then definitely the productivity will reduce. Then pest and weed buildup, as we are doing two crop monoculture, double cropping monoculture, because this rice wheat is getting repeated year after year, and this belongs to same family. So actually insect pest diseases develop occur, and one weed, famous weed in wheat, Phalaris minor, this is also created havoc in that area. And it not only the weeds, as weed flora also gets shifted. Weed flora gets shifted. We'll discuss in package of practices when we'll deal with the weed flora also shifted. So when weed flora is shifted, the weedicide or herbicide, that is also is shifted, or we are using a different herbicide, because many of the flora or weed flora, they actually get resistant to that particular herbicide. Then environmental degradation, as we know, due to stubble burning, methane and other greenhouses gases also emitted. And when actually we are doing rice, in stubble burning, actually CO2, not methane, is emitted. CO2, SO2, those are actually emitted. And in case of rice, when we are using the puddled rice, then methane emission will be definitely there from the flooded rice field. And as we are using nitrogenous fertilizer, so denitrification loss through N2O or nitrous oxide will be more. Then biodiversity is reduced, as we are not using the pulses, we are not using oilseed, we are not using, okay, coarse cereals we are not also using. So this continuous cropping, continuous monoculture of rice wheat also reduces agro biodiversity. Then sometime the wheat sowing is also get delayed, as when we are when we are going for long duration rice, then definitely wheat sowing is also get delayed. And when wheat sowing is delayed, then wheat will be subjected to terminal heat stress. So definitely the yield of wheat will be reduced. Then high energy requirement. Why high energy requirement? Because as we have seen, intensive irrigation is followed there, mechanization, fertilizer use. So all these actually increases the production cost also increases, and carbon footprint also increases. Carbon footprint also increases. So despite these challenges, why we are going for this particular cropping system? Okay, one thing we can write this advantage why we are going this, or another thing is reasons for continuance of rice wheat cultivation in India, because assured procurement price stability, we have already seen that. Green revolution impact, because green revolution actually started in those area with rice and wheat, short duration wheat variety. Then yield stability and irrigation support, we have already seen in the advantages section. Then food security and policy prioritization. Okay, whatever the MSP and other things are based on this particular cropping system. Then technology advancement in rice production, we have advanced technology, we are now using support DSR, direct seeded rice, okay, and many other advancement in technology we'll see when we'll deal rice in particular. So these are the some reasons for continuance of this particular cropping system despite various challenges we have seen. Then another question was asked, nutrient depletion and soil health, and the impact of rice wheat cropping system on nutrient depletion and soil health. So as we know, already we have seen in the disadvantage section that continuous removal of NPK and micronutrient, and one micronutrient, that is zinc, okay, and sulfur deficiency occur. Sulfur is a secondary nutrient, and micronutrient is zinc. As we know, in rice with zinc deficiency, Khoira disease occur, and Khoira disease, this was first seen in Uttarakhand by Dr. Y.L. Nene. So in that particular, we can say Indo-Gangetic plain, this was first noticed. Then zinc, sulfur, other micronutrient deficiency are also occur. Then, as we know, there is very high amount of fertilizer use. Okay, as high amount of removal also is there. For example, one example, nitrogen in 1 hectare, around 250 to 300 kg of nitrogen is removed per hectare per year. Similarly, phosphorus also 100 to 120 kg phosphorus also removed from there, P2O5. Then decline in soil organic carbon, okay, as the residue which would have added into the soil, that is not added, and that is actually burnt many times. So soil organic carbon will also be reduced. And that low soil organic carbon, when soil organic carbon will be low, so definitely soil fertility and soil resilience will be low, because the buffering capacity of the soil will be low. Then soil structure will also deteriorate, because we are going for puddled rice, that is transplanted rice, puddled rice or puddle transplanted rice. So this actually deteriorate the soil aggregate. So and many time hard pan also formation there, because we are using high machine, heavy machineries in that. And many time wheat root also get compacted or get less aeration due to this hard pan. Okay, compaction from heavy machinery we have discussed. Then reduced microbial activity, as the compaction will be there, then porosity will be reduced. So when porosity is actually reduced, so the microbial activity is also reduced. So the beneficial microorganism, earthworm, soil fauna, this population will be low. And also the soil organic carbon, as it is low, then this population of these beneficial microorganism will be low. Earthworm is a macroorganism, not a micro. Okay, then salinity, sodicity in poorly developed soil, it is developed. So in canal irrigated area, particularly canal irrigated area and the area having poor drainage, then salt accumulation will occur. And the sodic soil will be definitely associated with poor physical properties of soil. Then nutrient use efficiency will be low, because to get the same amount of yield we are increasing the nutrient content, or you can say nutrient uptake is more, and yield is stagnant, yield is getting plateau like thing. Okay, so lower nutrient use efficiency. Then so in case of soil health, whatever we know, if wherever there will be question on soil health, we will definitely break into physical, chemical and biological. In physical, as we have seen, soil aggregate, soil structure will relate with podal transplanted rice. Then in chemical, as we have seen, we can relate soil organic carbon, okay, and various nutrient, NPK, suppose micronutrient, secondary nutrient we can write. Then biology, then in biology we can write the beneficial microorganism. Okay, again soil organic matter we can mention here, beneficial microorganism, earthworm. Okay, I think this question can be handled. Then management, whatever with the problem we have seen, then the solution are management. For example, we have seen here decline in soil organic carbon. How? Because we are burning the stubble, so the residue we are not managing. So here the solution is management, is residue incorporation. Similarly, the legume green manuring is also we can take. Then zero tillage conservation agriculture, in that video we will deal this in more details. Okay, then soil test based fertilization, whichever nutrient is actually lower in that soil, we will apply that particular nutrient. Okay, not all. And INM, this is self explanatory. Okay, then coming to the last part of the lecture, that is management under forecast of poor rainfall. Okay, what we will do in the poor rainfall condition, for example, this year. Okay, so we will expect question like this, our strategy in poor rainfall contingent crop planning in the examination. So the first point is adopt direct seeded rice. So as we are now suppose doing podal transplanted rice, and now we will move to DSR, direct seeded rice. So the benefit of the direct seeded rice is it saves around 15 to 35% irrigation water. And another is it allows one major advantage is it allows timely sowing of wheat. How? Because whenever we are transplanting, the plant gets transplant shock, and it takes around 1 week to 10 days for that period to overcome this transplant shock. So that transplant shock is not present in DSR, and so definitely we will get at least 10 days before we can harvest the rice crop. So we can timely sow the wheat crop. Okay, then we will not use a long duration crop, we will use short duration and drought tolerant variety. Okay, because whatever rainfall will be there, we have to use that. And not only for rice, we have to use the residual moisture for wheat also. So definitely the crop duration should be less, and drought tolerant variety should be we use, as we have seen Sahbagi Dhan in rice. So they will definitely escape late season drought, and by using short duration rice we can have timely sowing of wheat, timely sowing of wheat. Okay, then water conservation we can do by alternate wetting and drying rather than continuous submergence, and we can go for life saving irrigation. Okay, then as poor rainfall is there, so we will have to harvest the rainwater and a leisure land leveling. Okay, then irrigate only at critical stages. So we'll discuss the critical stages of rice and wheat in the package of practices topic. So we will do the critical irrigation only at critical stages, and wherever there will be need we will use the irrigation. So that is called actually life saving irrigation. Okay, then we can go for diversity, that is means severely water scarce area. We can go for maize, millet, pulses wherever needed. Then the residue should be retained. Many times what we are doing, we are burning the residue. So we will not burn here, we will retain the residue. Okay, and zero till wheat we will use the, suppose, happy seeder, and these machinery actually is comfortable with the, suppose rice stubble will be here. So this happy seeder is comfortable with this rice stubble, and it can easily sow the wheat seed in between. Okay, so there will be zero till wheat. Okay, we will not till the wheat because whenever we are tilling, the residual soil moisture is get exposed. So whenever the residual soil moisture get exposed to the environment, then evaporation will be more. Okay, then split nitrogen doses and use organics. So according to rainfall we have to split the nitrogen doses, because the whenever, as we know, whenever there will be fertilizer, it should be associated with irrigation. Okay, otherwise that fertilizer or nutrient cannot be used properly by the plant. So as poor rainfall is there, so we have to judiciously use the fertilizer, and basically we have to split the nitrogen doses, and we should use organics. Then timely weed management. Okay, as the weed actually compete with the plant for the nutrient, for water, so definitely we have to manage the weed timely. And in many cases we have to follow the contingent crop plan. Okay, contingent crop plan means we will decide, um, decide closely. That means suppose transplanted rice is there, then we will go for direct seeded rice. Or suppose the rainfall prediction is very low, or the forecast is very poor rainfall, then we can replace the rice with many crop, as we have discussed, like maize, millet, pulses, okay, pearl millet also. Then government support, district wise contingency plan we can develop. And if we can actually ensure the farmers under PMFBY, Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. And in case of major problem, we can go for drought relief measure. Okay, so we can, whenever there will be crop loss, we can go for input subsidy. Okay, so this is in brief about the rice wheat cropping system. So what we have seen in this video. So rice wheat cropping system. First we saw the advantages of this system. Okay, in short we knew the importance of this session of this system, then advantages, then disadvantages. Okay, despite these disadvantages, why we are going for rice wheat cropping system, why we are going for rice wheat cropping system. Then we saw the effect of this cropping system on soil health. We saw how it is impacting the various physical, chemical, and biological properties of soil. Then we also saw the management option to restore the soil health. We also saw the rice wheat contingent crop planning in poor rainfall forecast. Okay, so I think whatever question on this topic will come, we'll definitely can handle that. Thank you. If any suggestion or doubt exists, kindly write in the comment section. Thank you.